What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a very interesting Liverpool transfer news video where we will talk about David Alaba because he is linked with Liverpool FC once again, and also the Bayern Munich chairman spoke out on the David Alaba contract situation because Alaba rejected Bayern's contract offer 3 times in a row, and that means that Bayern will not offer him a new contract for the 4th time, and that also means that either Bayern Munich sell Alaba in the January transfer window for a nominal fee like 10 million, maybe even 15 million, or they risk losing him on a free transfer at the end of the season. And yes, Alaba is demanding or asking for a huge contract at Bayern Munich, but that doesn't mean that at Liverpool he would be on the same contract, because that would be a new situation. And he's a very versatile player. He is playing as a centre-back for Bayern Munich, so I think he would be a perfect signing because he has been at Bayern almost all his footballing career and he is such an experienced player, a safe option for Liverpool to go for, and he wouldn't cost that much. I think he would be, of course, earning almost as much as Thiago. Thiago is on £200,000 per week, and you can't underestimate the pull that Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool have for like these really great players. And David Alaba would be the best option for Liverpool if they are looking for a short-term solution at centre-half in the January transfer window. That's what Danny Murphy said. Various candidates have been asked to provide cover for Van Dijk, Matip, Nat Phillips, Reece Williams, all made their claim to a regular role. It could, however, be that more cash is invested in a proven performer at the very highest level, which is David Alaba, who won everything with Bayern Munich. So he wants a new challenge, he wants to experience something different, and Alaba has seen the contract talks break down at Bayern Munich. And this is what Danny Murphy, the former Liverpool player, said. In terms of his ability, David Alaba absolutely fits Liverpool. He's a super player. I suppose what you would have to be looking at from Jurgen Klopp's perspective is the balance of the squad moving forward when everyone is fit, or you just look short term and get the best possible option, and which would be David Alaba. I would be wanting to do it. You can't have enough good players. I think he would certainly add quality and strength in depth, but there will be a lot of people interested and a lot of takers for Alaba. And I think now that Trent Alexander-Arnold is out injured for, which could be 2 or 3 weeks, but it could be months as well. He injured his calf and he had to be substituted against Man City, and that is very worrying because Liverpool have just Neko Williams as a backup right back, and frankly he's not yet ready to play in the biggest games in the Champions League and in the Premier League. He most of the time doesn't even make the bench for Liverpool right now. That says a lot. And Alaba could play at left back, at right back, at centre back. We could even put Joe Gomez at right back and play Alaba at centre back with Fabinho until Virgil van Dijk comes back. David James is another ex-Liverpool player who would be in favour of making a move for Alaba, but he also feels that long-term thinking needs to be taken into account when plotting any moves for players. He's a phenomenal player, David James said. Of course Liverpool would want him. I think the top 6 English clubs would want David Alaba if he was available, but it's what you do once you've got him. These short-term fixes have long-term consequences because you end up pushing someone further down the line. You aren't going to sign him for 2 minutes if you are going to sign him long-term, and it's whether it fits into the Liverpool plan. One thing Liverpool have been good at is recruitment, bringing the right kind of players in since Jurgen Klopp took over. So if they weren't thinking about Alaba before his want to move on, then he wouldn't be one of their targets, even if he became available. And Bayern Munich revealed that they had withdrawn their contract offer, their latest contract offer, from the table because Alaba rejected it. He isn't signing it, and basically then Bayern said, okay, that's it, we are not offering you any more money, any other contracts. However, positive noises have been coming out of both Bayern Munich's camp and Alaba's camp. And Rummenigge, the Bayern Munich chairman, who is the chairman of the Bayern's executive board, He says that common ground can still be found. The door is still open a little bit, open a crack, as he said. If David Alaba wants to stay at Bayern Munich, then we have to evaluate how we can find a reasonable solution for both sides. I think we all think the same thing here at the club. We all want David Alaba to stay. He's a wonderful person and a top player. At some point we have to start planning for the new season. We have to know, will David stay with Bayern or not? A decision is important to us at this point. And they said the same thing about Thiago as well. They tried everything to convince Thiago to stay at Bayern. But you understand, these players, they have short football careers, and there is not many chances for them to sign one last big contract and also to experience a new league, a new country, a new way of living, and also a new way of playing football. And I think David Alaba wants that chance. And he's only 28 years old. He is almost 2 years younger than Thiago, which means that he has even more years left in him. And Alaba is one of the most accomplished defenders in the game of football, being comfortable at left back and the center of defense, even in center midfield or left midfield. Players of his caliber are very rare, meaning there is sure to be a huge number of clubs chasing his signature. Bayern have a little under 2 months to work out a new deal, but I think that Alaba rejecting a new contract 3 times in a row indicates that he has no intention of signing a new contract, and he doesn't want to stay. He wants to move on and experience something new, something fresh, a new challenge in his career. And also there is a fresh transfer report by the Times newspaper, and they are claiming that Wolves asked for Welsh fullback Neko Williams, who actually scored on his Welsh debut in international football. But then they settled on Keanu Hoover when Liverpool told them Neko Williams is not for sale. And of course they were obviously in for a new right back after the sale of Matt Doherty to Tottenham, and they had eyes on both Neko Williams and Keanu Hoover. In the end they went with Nelson Semedo, and it's a shame that Keanu Hoover can't even sometimes make the bench at Wolves, but definitely he hasn't played in the Premier League yet for Wolves. So I think that Liverpool made the good decision keeping Neko Williams at the club, because I mean, look at what happened with Trent. He got injured, and now Neko Williams will probably have to play some games. And John Barnes says that Bobby Firmino doesn't have to worry about Diogo Jota. Liverpool can play both players in the system, in the 4-2-3-1 system, and I think with so many games coming thick and fast, it's actually good that Firmino and Jota can sometimes rotate, so one gets a rest, the other performs, vice versa. This is what John Barnes said. I must admit, I didn't think Jota would get this much playing time. I knew he was a good player, but I don't think anyone could have imagined he would do this well. I mean, 7 goals already in his Liverpool career, absolutely fantastic. Normally it takes a while for players to fit into their new club, their new surrounding, their new system, but not Jota. Every time he has come on, he has done really well, and this shows from the recruitment point of view that Jurgen Klopp is spot on in terms of looking at players who he knows can fit into what he wants. But I don't think Firmino has anything to worry about. Firmino and Jota are very different players, and just because Firmino hasn't scored a lot of goals lately, it's important to remember that he plays a different role within the front three. Furthermore, Mane and Salah wouldn't score as many goals if it wasn't for the way Bobby Firmino plays. It all comes down to the incredible teamwork. Also, Firmino and Jota play very differently, which is a luxury to have, as some games will suit one of them better than the other, or other times, like yesterday against Man City, they both play. I think Jurgen Klopp will chop and change this season, and I don't think it's a reflection of on who he feels is better. It's more about who they are playing against and adapting the tactics to that team's playing style. The good thing about it is Jota and Firmino and Thiago can now come into the team and take over from any of the players in midfield or up front and do a great job, and that's what you want. And Andy Robertson after the Man City game said that we have done well, Liverpool, but let's now attack the Christmas period. And I love this attitude by Andy Robertson. He said, we are always hungry for more. As footballers, we are always a bit greedy for a little bit more. But look, we have to be happy. I think when we started getting some injuries and lost a couple of players with COVID and stuff, everyone expected the wheels to fall off our team, but we have managed to steady the ship a little bit and pick up some great results, especially in Europe. In the Premier League, we have maybe not been at our best at times, but we have picked up results, and that's why we are near the top of the league. So long may that continue, and long may we keep building our confidence and building our performances. I think this was one of our best performances in a while, and hopefully we can come back from internationals full of confidence and we can really kick on, because we are a good team. We will have lads coming back from injuries, hopefully, and we will only get stronger for that. So long may that continue. Hopefully we don't lose anyone during the internationals. We know we've got really important games. Mine is the biggest for our country in a long time, but I hope we all come back fit and healthy. I think Scotland is playing a qualifier for the Euros. That's what Robbo is referring to. I hope we go and attack this Christmas period, because it's going to be a hectic, but we have to deal with it pretty well in previous seasons, and that's what we need to do this season. And Robertson also commented on Jota starting alongside the front three. Look, that's what happens with players like Diogo, who scored a hat-trick in midweek. He scored so many goals, and obviously the manager looked at it and thought, I have to get him in the team. The front three have been phenomenal the last 3 years, and then we bring on quality players like Shaqiri, who is in such a good moment right now. He has played phenomenal football the past couple of weeks, and then we bring on Milner, slotting in for Trent. That was part of us maybe adapting as a team, being able to play different formations, being able to play different personnel and things like that. And we managed to do that against one of the best teams in the league. I thought we did it pretty well, and we can adapt. And it means that we can maybe play it more often. But the 4-3-3 has worked so well for us. So we won't play it all the time. But it means we can adapt to certain teams, certain situations. And it's about us evolving as a team. So that was a big step. A point is a fair enough result for both teams. And Robertson continued, I don't think we can have much arguments. We had to capitalize on surprising them a wee bit with our formation and having the lads between the lines. I thought we were excellent the first 20 minutes and we were on top. We took a deserved lead, but good players adapt to situations, and Man City started to adapt and started to work out how to fix that. Then they started causing problems of their own. The ball has just come in between bodies and came through, which is unfortunate. And then lucky for us, the penalty, and luckily a quality player has missed it. After that, there wasn't many chances in the game. I think we had just had a little bit more quality in the final third. We could have maybe got through, but all in all, a good performance for us and a decent enough result. Now we are all off on internationals all over the world, and hopefully we all come back fit and healthy, and then we go into the hectic Christmas schedule. And Jurgen Klopp also commented on fielding basically a front four. We can do it against City. When you can do it against City, then you can do it against other teams as well. It will not be our new all the time formation, but there are moments when we might use it. That's very helpful for us. Usually people know which system we play. That's now water under the bridge. From now on, we can play 3 or 4 different systems, which is good. And tonight it worked really well. We wanted to use the skills and the power of the front four. And in specific moments we cause Man City problems. The other thing is that we all like to prepare a game in the way that we know exactly what the opponent is doing, and Pep, I don't think he knew we would play 4-4-2. It's not important, but it needed a while for Man City to adapt to it. That was the plan for today. We will not have used that the last time, and yes, that I think we caught Man City by surprise, and that's why we basically dominated the first 30 minutes of the game. And Joe Gomez believes that Liverpool earned a very good point against Man City. We had our chances, he said. I suppose it probably is a fair reflection of the game in the end. Some frustrating decisions at times, but I thought we started the game well and had a good intensity about us in the first half. It slowed a bit in the second, and both teams, I think, were a bit more conservative. At the end of the day, we know how good Man City are, and we have come away from home and got a point, so I think we've got to take that. As I said, it's not an easy place to come to, and we have to accept that we had our chances and so did they. So I think a point is a fair reflection. We go into the international break now, and hopefully we all come back healthy and ready to go. And I wouldn't dispute it that it hit my hand, the ball, but at the end of the day I'm running back towards goal, and everybody knows the power De Bruyne can hit the ball with is just a natural motion for me to run. I haven't made an attempt to put my arm towards the ball, it just happened that quick. At the end of the day, it's the referee's decision. There's enough conversation going on around that rule and what's going on, but you just have to move on and accept what's happened. A lot of people criticize that handball decision and also the handball decision in the Leicester Wolves game. I mean, the fanball rule has to change. I already said my piece in yesterday's video where I analyzed the Man City Liverpool match. If you haven't already, check it out. And even Henderson questioned the decision to award Man City a penalty. People will say I am biased, Henderson said, because it is against Liverpool, but I saw one similar in the Leicester game. Joe is running back to his own goal. Where is he going to put his arms? I think it is so difficult for defenders nowadays. I felt it was harsh, but they have been pretty consistent, referees. In the Leicester game they gave it, and they gave it today. But for us as players, I think it is harsh. I don't think the handball rule is clear, Henderson said. To be fair to the referees, the game before they have been consistent with it. They are going to the letter of the law. For players it is harsh, I feel. For defenders running back with the pace of that Kevin De Bruyne cross, it is hard for Gomez to get out of the way. Everyone is finding it difficult to know where to put their arms. Hopefully the refs can look at it, and it shouldn't be given in both games. And yeah, when it is not intentional, I don't think it should be a handball. Only if it's not intentional and the ball, I mean the ball blocks, the hand blocks basically a certain goal, then that it should be a penalty. But otherwise I don't think it should be a penalty when you hit the hand with like from 3 or 4 yards out with a lot of power. The players just don't have time to react, and you have to use your hands to run. Like, you can't run like this, like a fish out of the water. It's just ridiculous. I said my piece already mostly in yesterday's video. I just wanted to expand on that a little bit. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.